You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. LSU has extended an offer to Elijah Griffin. If you don't know the name, you'll get to know it over the next several years. Elijah Griffin is the number one player in the country for the 2025 class. He's out of the state of Georgia, and he currently has offers from Georgia, South Carolina, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, LSU, basically everybody. But it's thought right now to be a Georgia-South Carolina battle. Again, the 247 rankings have him as the number one overall player in the country. In the composite, the number one defensive lineman, of course, number one player in the state of Georgia. But again, it's a Georgia-South Carolina battle right now. The reason this is interesting for LSU, of course, is the guy that was recruiting Elijah Griffin at South Carolina, who's got them firmly in the mix to land his commitment, is Jimmy Lindsay. Well, Jimmy Lindsay is now the LSU defensive line coach. I want to remind you, Pete Jenkins was with us here a week ago and talked about working with LSU and when Jamar Cain left, and about how Jimmy Lindsay came on board. Give a listen.
Mm-hmm. And so the defensive line coach, Jamar, he and Gerald were there, and so I spent 5 days, 10 hours a day, working my tail off to teach him, Jamar.
Mm-hmm.
And about 3 weeks after, it might have been 2-3 weeks, he left and went to Denver.
Right.
So maybe I ran him off. I don't know what happened. But anyways, I really worked hard because Matt House is a damn good football coach now. Let me tell you, I've been around Matt at Kansas City, Kentucky, St. Louis Rams, and now LSU. I know Matt for a long time. Matt is smart, and he is a good football coach, okay? But it didn't look like what he wanted it last year up front. And Jamar was of another school of thought, okay? And so Matt wanted him in the off season to give an idea about how we do things and whatever. So I did work awful hard with him. I found him to be a nice guy. Gerald Chapman, who was his assistant, was in there with us. Actually, Gerald was a little bit ahead of Jamar because Gerald had come to visit me in Miami in January last year and everything. So, but it was I worked hard on it, and he up and leaves and everything. But the good news for me, they hired a boy from the University of South Carolina who I've been working with for about 4 years. And I like him, and I think he and Matt had worked somewhere in the past together.
Mm-hmm.
And so Matt's very comfortable with him. And he does the stuff that all of us do and everything. So Matt's going to be a lot happier and a lot better off. And the linemen are going to get preparation for not only LSU, but for the next step.
So I found that pretty fascinating. So Pete Jenkins was with us and basically said they're better off with Jimmy Lindsay on the defensive line. And then sort of an ancillary benefit here is Jimmy Lindsay was already recruiting Elijah Griffin for the class of 2025 and immediately has LSU in the mix there. I want to remind you this. Louisiana, I had to look this up today. Louisiana does not, for the class of 2025, Louisiana does not have a defensive lineman in the on-3 top 300. They also do not have a defensive lineman from Louisiana among the top 20 players in the state for 2025. So now that could change. Obviously, you got two recruiting cycles to go, and players will develop and grow and all that sort of stuff. But as of right now, you are very lean in the state in 2025, and your hire of Jimmy Lindsay immediately gets you a hat on the table for the best player in the country for 2025. Just something worth keeping an eye on as we move toward that recruiting cycle. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.